So, just a brief history that my daughter got her diagnosis around 2 years of age. And honestly speaking, at that time, we were very much focusing on language, how to speak rather than communicating. So, and crying was the only way she was communicating at that age. So, and every time whenever she used to cry, we just had to guess the cry, whether she's hungry or she's hurt or she's bored. So, and she wasn't verbalizing at all. She wasn't making any sounds either. So, her then speech pathologist suggested to go for sign language. And listening to that, I was a little bit skeptical whether if she learns a sign language, then she'll not have the motivation to speak the language, to speak the words. But since she wasn't speaking at all, so we thought, okay, let's just give it a try. And her speech pathologist was really pushing for it. So we thought, why not just go for it? And after learning, then she really started picking up those signs. And after picking up those signs, she started speaking those words which she used to imitate through signs. Like her first word was more. So she started using the sign, and then later on she would use the sign and say more, more, more. And after more, her second word was open. So open the book, open the door. So she would just word say, initially she would just use the sign, and then she would say open, open, so like that. So it was a very good experience with that. So I remember once she started learning those signs. I remember once she was walking around the house and imitating those signs. She was just she used to just keep on doing those signs, and she used to be very happy when she used to do those signs. I distinctly remember once when she was pretty young and she started learning those signs. So once during the snack time, I was giving her crackers, and she really wanted to eat a cookie. So she kept on refusing that, and I kept on offering her crackers. So she started crying, but I still offered her cracker, not the cookie. So she got really frustrated, and she immediately signed cookie, cookie, cookie. And then I said, oh, you wanted cookies. So I got up and gave her a cookie. And then I could see that, she was really happy once to get the cookie. And I think she was really happy that she communicated whatever she wanted. And I reacted immediately and gave her whatever she wanted. So that was really a moment for both of us. And I think she understood the meaning of communication, which we can understand. Like crying, we didn't understand all the time. So that's how we started using sign language, and I could see that she was really happy using those signs. Then from signs we graduated to PEX, the picture exchange communication system. Since my daughter is very much is very visual, so she would just be fixated on those picture cards, and she would just want all the cards all the time. So because of that, we kept losing lots of cards. So that was not a very sustainable system for us. Then Shireen told us about an AAC app called Play Talk, and that was a much bigger step up than PEX. So we started using Play Talk. So whatever people she used to meet, so she used to go to school, her friends, I put all those pictures in that app, and she memorized all the people. Like for her grandmom, she would I whenever we used to visit, and I kept telling her that this is your grandmom, that's Dadi, that's Nani, that's Nanaji. that's your friend Varun, that's your friend Riza, but she would not say it. But then on that on Play Talk, she would just she would just open it and browse the Play Talk, and when she would touch a picture and that it would say Nani, Nanaji, Dadi, her friend's name Shireen. So she memorized all those people. So that was and she would just look at the picture and smile. So next time when we did the video call with them or video call chat with them, she would immediately smile and say Nanaji. So that was a big benefit for using the Play Talk. So I have put in lots of options in her app, like what she wants to do, what she wants to watch. So gradually now she has memorized all those options, and sometimes mostly actually she would come to us. She would bring the remote if she wants to watch TV or something, and then she would say, I want to watch Peppa Pig, I want to watch Max and Ruby, or I want to do coloring, I want to do painting. So she has memorized all those options which I have put in Playtalk app for her. And unfortunately, we are not using Playtalk much for communication right now, but we are using it quite much for academics. Like she's learning how to make sentences. So I would show her the picture in a laptop and put in all the options or put in all those jumbled words in Playtalk, and then she would choose those options and make the sentence. So that ways we are using Playtalk. And her schedules, morning schedule, nighttime schedule, is there on Playtalk. So she has all those schedules are memorized. She has all memorized that, okay, so if I say Vidusha, it's time to bed, so she would just immediately she would go to the bathroom and say brush her teeth and all that stuff. And I have put in lots of life skill exercises in Playtalk, like lots of she's learning to cook or she's learning to bake. So all those recipes I have put in Playtalk. So whenever we are making a banana cake, so she knows that, okay, the recipe is there, so she can follow those instructions. So I have put in instructions to make lemonade, so she has memorized all those things, so she can make lemonade independently. 80 to 90% she can make. For a few things I have to help her, since I think there are a couple of things she cannot do, like she cannot pour water from a full jug to a glass, so that I help. So all those things we are using Playtalk for right now. Yes, if she has the grasp of the concept, then she responds well and she answers to my query, or she reacts accordingly. Let's say if I ask her to do something, then she does it and all that. But if she doesn't have the grasp of the concept, then I guide her. I point it to her to understand what actually I'm asking and what actually that means, so that she can later on use that thing for use. Oh, as a parent, I feel on the top of the world that she has the option to express what she's feeling. She has the option to communicate to others uh, what she wants to say. Everyone deserves a voice, and everyone wants to be heard. So nowadays, hardly people like to talk, but they still like to communicate. So I think the future of AAC is very, very bright if you see it like that. Uh, you have your device for communicating, and people are nowadays more acceptable to different modes of communication. So, and I think the potential positive benefits of AAC are demonstrated, and the only thing needed is to ensure its use in everyday practice. So if I'm labeling an app as my child's voice, then it shouldn't be used for certain activities only. It goes wherever my child goes. one challenge we faced using PECs initially was that those were picture cards, and since my daughter is very visual, so she would just want to play with them all the time, or she just want to keep looking at them all the time, and we kept losing those cards. So that problem got solved when we switched to Play Talk. But and now with the Play Talk, the problem is that it's our problem that we have to get that uh, uh, thing into our system, because we are so habituated of just talking or verbalizing that we aren't able to model for her. So that's the only challenge I'm facing right now. And honestly, I don't care if people think that it's a different type of communication. As long as my daughter can communicate, whatever be the medium, I'm good with it. So the first rule of thumb for using any device as a communicating tool is to model. So model, and that's where we are lacking right now. So what I'm thinking is, I'm thinking of investing in buying another device, so that we aren't shuffling devices, and both of us can communicate with our own voices. So rather, yeah. So I have to use my device as my voice rather than just using my throat as my voice. Yes, an AAC app has been a good role model for communication with respect to my daughter. My daughter has good amount of vocabulary, but getting those words to good use at the right time is a challenge for us. So I think that part is being taken care of once we started using Play Talk.